All right, guys, today we are going to talk about the personal injury offer. Now, um, in traffic and conversion, the first internet marketing conference that I went to back in 2010, Ryan Dice said digital marketing is all about two things: traffic and conversion, or traffic and offers, in other words. And PI attorneys, well, I'll ask you, where do you think that PI attorneys like to spend their time and money? Obviously, it's on the traffic side, getting eyeballs, getting people to the website, um, billboards, TV, radio. It's all on the traffic side. And I see very little focus on the offer side, which is very interesting because the greatest marketers in the world, the legendary marketers, copywriters, Dan Kennedy's of the world, they focus most of their time on the offer. So while personal injury is all focused on traffic, great marketers are focused on the offer. And I like to say it's kind of a play on, or a remix of the quote from, I believe Seth Godin said it first. But I like to say that marketing and advertising is the tax you pay for having an unremarkable offer. So today we're going to take the ICP that we developed, the ideal client profile that we developed in episode 1. Look at that, use the bot that I gave you in there and create your own if you want to, and if you want to follow along. But we have our ICP for a personal injury client, and we're going to use that today to analyze the personal injury offer. And what do you think is the personal injury offer these days? What are most personal injury firms using as an offer? I think you'll agree that it's the contingency fee. You pay nothing unless you win. And I'm going to show you today, using an AI bot that I created called the Offer Optimizer, why that is incomplete, why it's hurting the average personal injury firm, and why and how to make it better, specifically how to make it better. And we're going to be using the Alex Hormozi formula, which I love. And this is, this is something, this mastermind group that I'm in kind of made this very clear to me, that addressing the offer equation, refining the offer is a continual process, something that you want to do over and over again, regularly, maybe even quarterly. So it's not a one-time thing where you look at this, create an offer, and then you're done. And in my own business, in the marketing agency, I treated this as a one-time thing at one time, at maybe a couple of years ago, and I got results to that effort, results that were correlated to that effort. But then after I focused on it more and more, I was able to find and build offers that were more and more irresistible. And all right, let's get into it. Without further ado, I'm going to share my screen, and we could analyze the contingency fee offer and why it's hurting personal injury firms. And I don't know what it is about personal injury firms. Maybe you can tell me, but all is a generalization, but most personal injury firms want to do the same thing as everyone else in the market. And they at least want to do what they think the successful firms are doing and using. And they don't want to veer off too much from the middle, which is, in marketing, again, a Seth Godin concept of the purple cow. Being in the middle, or being unremarkable, being like everyone else in marketing, is the opposite of what you want to be doing. It's the opposite of what works. So although we're looking for things that work, because everyone else is doing them, makes them ineffective very, very quickly. And I think the contingency fee is one of those things that everybody's doing it. It must be working. This is the standard. So we need to be doing this too, which the offer is the single greatest constraint in personal injury. It's the single greatest problem in personal injury that's causing the most pain and suffering, hands down. And I don't think it's even close. I welcome your arguments on this, but nothing like the offer in causing pain and suffering for personal injury firms, from rising client acquisition costs, which is the main one, to decreasing the number of leads that come in over time. It leads to frustration and all kinds of emotional issues and problems, and also problems within your firm. So let's remember, it's a tax you pay for being unremarkable. Marketing and advertising is a tax you pay for being unremarkable. So it's either this or shouting louder, outspending your competition. It's either creating an irresistible or remarkable offer that people want to buy, or shouting louder, spending more money, being in more places, which to me sounds like an exhausting undertaking. All right, let me share my screen and we'll get right into it. I'm going to share the entire screen. It's going to be a split screen today. We're going to show, this is the ICP that we created last time. And if you haven't seen that yet, go to episode 1 where we create the ICP, and just take a look at how detailed this ICP is, more than just demographics or that they've been recently injured in an accident and want maximum compensation. This thing goes through demographics, of course, a brief description, core problem, symptoms of the problem, emotional impact of the problem, social impact of the problem. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this ICP and we're going to always use it to create offers and content so that we're speaking directly to our ideal client. Again, do this on your own. If you want to change any of this, by all means, because this is what we're going to be using to create and to analyze our offer. So over here on the left, we have the offer optimizer POBot. I'm going to include a link to this down below so you can use it as well. I'm going to put it over here on the right side on my screen so that it looks better and I'm looking at the camera more. Okay, here we go. So first things first, this thing wants to know, who is your target market? So I'm going to go ahead and upload this ICP, attach it to the chat, and then what is their biggest pain point? So I'm going to say target market is attached. Their biggest pain point is also in that same document. The outcome is in that document as well. But essentially, their biggest pain point is that they're injured and it's causing all types of problems in their life. The biggest outcome they want is to get back to their life the way it was, maximum compensation for their injuries so that they can recover fully and completely. What is your product or service? Our product or service is personal injury legal services for people just like this. We deal with the insurance companies. We go to trial if we have to, and we get as big of an outcome, as big of a monetary settlement or compensation or outcome as possible. The proof that we have is that we've helped, now I'm making this up, we've recovered over $500 million for personal injury accident victims to date. Our price and payment structure is a contingency fee, which means the client pays nothing unless and until we are successful. We do not offer a guarantee other than the fact that they pay nothing, no money, unless and until we win. So I used Whisper Flow there, WISPR Flow, for speech to text. Highly recommend it. So you can use this on all your apps and you don't have to type. It's a lot faster. So target market is attached. Their biggest pain point is also in that document. The outcome is in that document as well. But essentially their biggest pain point is that they're injured and it's causing all types of problems in their life. The biggest outcome they want is to get back to their life the way it was, maximum compensation for their injury so they can recover fully and completely. Our product or service is personal injury legal services for people just like this. We deal with the insurance companies. We go to trial if we have to, and we get as big of a monetary settlement or compensation or outcome as possible. The proof that we have is that we've helped, and I'm going to take out now that we're making this up, but just so that you know, we're making this up for the video. We've recovered over $500 million for personal injury accident victims to date. Our price and payment structure is a contingency fee, which means the client pays nothing unless and until we are successful. We do not offer a guarantee other than the fact that they pay nothing, no money unless and until we win. So let's see what this thing has to say about the contingency fee offer and how well it matches up with our ICP. And remember, the bot is trained on Alex Hormozi's offer formula, the irresistible offer, or I guess he calls it the $100 million offer formula, which is dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times cost or effort or sacrifice. So what they have to give up to get it. Let's see what it says with our contingency fee offer according to Alex Hormozi. Thank you for providing this comprehensive information about your personal injury law firm and the detailed ICP for Alex Reeves. I now have everything I need to perform a complete analysis and optimization of your offer. Let me break this down systematically. And again, these are suggestions that it's going to give us. It's going to give us a score as to how irresistible, how good the offer is. And then it's going to give us suggestions. And some are easier to implement than others, and it will also tell us that. And some will have a bigger impact on the irresistibility of the offer than others. It all is based on the formula. And if you use this formula enough, you will see, I mean, this has changed our business forever. And you'll see how powerful and universal the formula is. I hope it tells you, I hope it tells us a key down below of the scoring, but we'll get into it now. Target market is a personal injury victim from South Carolina. Okay, clearly defined. Current offer strength, strong track record, no upfront cost structure, clear value proposition, and addresses real and urgent need. Here are the identified gaps, the identified gaps within our contingency fee offer. Lack of specific guarantee beyond no win, no fee, no mention of timeline commitments, and missing differentiation from competitors. That's why this podcast exists. And no additional value adds beyond legal representation. So essential components of valuation. This is just the components of the market. Super strong market, massive pain, purchasing power, easy to target, and growing market. All very high. And okay. Irresistible offer equation analysis. Promise size. Maximum compensation is strong but vague. Perceived likelihood 6 out of 10 because of your strong track record of helping people recover $500 million so far to date total. Good but lacks specificity. Time delay, no timeline commitment creates uncertainty, and effort required. We handle everything. Message is clear. So it's we handle everything. Message is clear. So I think this should actually be lower. Oh yeah. So if you look here, sometimes these should be low. The lower the better. And if you look here, it scored it one way. It scored it high, even though it's. I think it made a mistake. It did make a mistake. This happens sometimes with this bot, by the way. It tells you that the lower the better here, but it scores them high for good, so it flips them. But then in the offer equation score, you can see right here that it did it accurately, where the lower the score, the better, and it has the effort required as a 2. I happen to think I'm going to push back a little on this thing, because yes, you handle everything, but what about like the recovery? What about medical bills? It doesn't say anything about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push back a little bit on the bot and see what it says about this. I disagree with a few things, especially the effort required from the client. Yes, we handle everything on the legal side, but what about the medical appointments, the medical bills, and what they're dealing with at home and at work? I don't think the contingency fee offer addresses that much, if at all. So please give me the entire analysis again. Let's see what it has to say. Sometimes, which is good about this bot, is that it'll, well, this one just glazed me like every other AI and said that we're absolutely right. I need to recalibrate my analysis based on the reality of what clients actually experience. Let me provide a completely revised and more accurate statement. So then if you look at, so that's a big difference in the scoring. Legal process is slow and they're suffering now with no timeline relief. Effort required 8 out of 10. This is where I was completely wrong. Clients face massive effort. So they rescored, and this is what I usually get when I run the contingency fee offer, which is under 1 out of 10. And I don't know why it's out of 10. It shouldn't be out of 10, which is fine. This is the number that we want, but the high end could be, I think the high end maximum is 100. And if they give us, sometimes they give you like a decimal in the denominator on the bottom number. So I don't want to get too technical with the math terms, but sometimes they give us a decimal in the denominator. So that would mean it would go well over 100. So it's not out of 10. But this score here is the important score, which is 0.875. And let me, what I'm going to ask it before we get into this is, let me see if it gives us a breakdown of the scoring. Breakdown of the scoring, or the equation score, to tell me what these numbers mean and what ranges of the score would mean. Okay, so it says, it gives you a breakdown of each and every component. There are 4. Overall equation score ranges and business impact. 0 to 2 is crisis level, which means conversion rate impact, 1 to 3% effectively a broken offer. Does this sound to you, if you have a personal injury firm, does this sound accurate to you? 1 to 3% conversion rate? I think the conversion rate, yeah, I don't know if this means the conversion rate, like the people that see the offer from contingency fee to signing up, or if it's like all of the traffic converting through. or becoming a lead. So I'm not exactly sure what that means, but essentially they're saying that it's a very low conversion rate. Business reality of this type of offer is fundamentally flawed. Clients reluctant to engage. Action required, complete offer overhaul needed immediately. Example, your original score of 0.875 fell in this range. So again, we could argue, we could debate about the score. The original score was, I believe it was a 4, but I really don't like the score that it gave on the effort required for the clients in this case, because it's not true that they don't have any effort required. They're in tremendous pain. They've had a terrible accident in some cases, and they have there's a lot that they have to do. Mostly going to the doctor, dealing with with their medical bills and things like that. So 3 to 5 would be below average, struggling to compete. So that was the original score. Business reality, offer exists but isn't compelling, losing to competitors. Action required, major improvement needed across multiple components. Symptoms, high inquiry to client conversion problems and price objections. So you tell me, as a personal injury attorney, what are you facing? And then we can reverse engineer this. So if you're facing clients reluctant to engage, or losing clients to competitors and having high inquiry to client conversion problems and price objections, then yeah, you're probably somewhere in the crisis level to below average level, just practically speaking, with the contingency fee offer. 6 to 10 is average market performance. 15 to 25%. Yeah, now I know it's based on number of people you talk to versus clients you sign, because it's not of total traffic. Competitive but not differentiated, decent results. And then you can see how some of the bigger firms that have more proof, more likelihood of achievement would get up in this range, because they have proof and people want to go with them because they're the best option for them. Everybody else looks the same. So they go by, if everybody looks the same in the market, what are they going to go by? They're going to go by your proof, your experience with their type of case, how many of those people you've helped in the past, and price. I can't think of much else. I mean, even if they like you and that's not in place, they're probably going to go with somebody that that they think can give them the best likelihood of success despite liking you. 11 to 20, strong market position, compelling offer that converts well, good reputation, fine-tuning and optimization for maximum impact. 21 to 40 is a market leader. So this is where the offer is so powerful. Instead of just leaving it as, hey, this is the way everyone's always done it, we could just use a contingency fee offer like everyone else. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Where a little bit of effort, thought, maybe a few resources out of your marketing budget going to the offer and getting it up into these stronger positions could help you get up into these ranges here, where you're good reputation, converting well, healthy conversion rates, positive client feedback, or market leader, where you have a dominant position, clients actively seek you out, maintain excellence. So referral driven growth, ability to charge premium rates. This is not this is not make believe. This is what's happening in every other industry outside of personal injury and law. People are focused on the offer and they are dominating. There are a couple of vague examples that come to mind, like Steve Wynn, when he was building the casino empire and he was giving people cash, flights, hotel rooms, It was truly an irresistible offer where people would feel dumb to say no. There's no good reason to say no to the offer, and he built an empire on that. Domino's Pizza is the other one that comes to mind. No one had this offer, even though it's a very basic guarantee. Since they were around college campuses at the time, they said hot, fresh pizza, which is the dream outcome, in 30 minutes or less. So the time delay was defined, guaranteed. So you'll get your money back if we don't get there within 30 minutes. So you have college students that are drunk or high. They want to eat now. So you're solving a very specific problem for the audience. And if we don't get there, if we don't deliver in 30 minutes or less, you get your money back. And that propelled Domino's to a market leader at the time. They have since rescinded that offer because I think there was like accidents of drivers trying to get there on time and other factors. But that's what a killer offer can do. 41-70, industry disruptor. And this is not, it's not unheard of. Industry disruptor. It just takes a little thought. Business reality, revolutionary offer that redefines the client expectations. Waiting list, media attention, competitors copying your model. And it all starts with the ICP. It all starts with focusing on the ICP, what they want, hot, fresh pizza in 30 minutes or less because they're drunk or high on a college campus, for example. Knowing the ICP is where it all starts. 71-100, market dominator, offer so compelling, it's virtually irresistible. This is that Steve Wynn example. Symptoms, clients willing to wait, premium price accepted, industry leader. So that means that if you get to this point, people won't go to anyone else. They won't go to Morgan & Morgan. They won't go to any other local personal injury shop. They're going to wait for you to have an opening. Imagine that. That would be different. So your specific score analysis, 0.875 is the crisis level. So the contingency fee offer is a crisis level offer. For every 100 people who learned about your offer, maybe 1 to 2 would become clients. So let's think about this a little bit. The contingency fee offer is right on the site. Like that's what they believe the offer is, start to finish and completely. They don't know if you're offering something else. They don't know that until they call you. And they already think they know what the offer is. So why would they call you to find out more information or what else comes with the offer? So what's happening is, and this is probably generous for personal injury, 100 people learn about the offer, see it on the website, contingency fee, and 1 to 2 become clients. And that's why marketing is a tax for having an unremarkable offer. And that's why client acquisition costs are so high in personal injury and rising. High effort required was killing conversions despite decent promise. Potential clients saw the value but were overwhelmed by what they'd still have to handle. Is that or is that not the reality of personal injury? They're still like, well, that's great that we're going to get an offer, that we're going to get a settlement or a check someday, but I still have to deal with all this shit. I have to deal with the injury. I have to deal with my family. I have to deal with work. And I don't know when I'm going to get this offer. So I might as well take the insurance company's lowball offer. I know it's low, but at least I get this thing behind me. That's exactly, I think, what's happening here. Optimized score, 100 out of 10, over 10. This is the interesting part. I don't know the scoring, but 100 is definitely the optimized top score. Translation, 8 out of 9 out of every 10 qualified prospects would become clients. Achievement, perfect promise with perfect credibility. So what I believe, if we take all of their suggestions above, which we'll look at next, we'll be at a 10 out of 10 on promise and credibility and minimal client burden. Offer reality. Reality offer becomes so comprehensive and effortless that saying no seems irrational. Score component impact analysis. So again, it talks about what their suggestions are, which we'll go into next. But the main point of this call is to start thinking in terms of the irresistible offer equation. If I can help just one person in personal injury start to think about their offer more than they were yesterday and less about traffic, or at least about the offer first, but thinking about the offer just even slightly more than you were yesterday, then I've done my job and your life is going to be easier. Here are the suggestions for making, hopefully they're not like completely outlandish, but here are the 15-step offer improvement plan according to this offer optimizer bot that I'll link to in the description so you can play around with it as well. All right, total life management concierge. Recommendation: we handle everything. Medical appointment scheduling, transportation coordination, household task assistance, work communication advocacy. Impact: reduces effort required from 8 to 3 and increases promise size to 10. So the dream outcome or the promise size goes to 10 and the effort required goes from 8 to 3, which this just explodes the equation score higher. And somebody said this once to me before about Amazon and about, I think it was Alex Hormozy in his original book, $100 million Offers. He said that amateurs or beginners or young companies or small companies focus on the top line. They focus on promising more, on delivering a bigger outcome, on the perceived likelihood of achievement, like proof, on the top line, on the numerator. Whereas huge companies, big successful companies, focus more on the bottom line, because any incremental improvement on the denominator will exponentially grow the equation score. And that makes complete sense. And that's why I believe he put the equation together like he did. Because if you can make the time delay less, like they get something quicker, they get the outcome quicker, or first value quicker, and you can make the cost less, the equation goes up exponentially. So if you look at Amazon, for example, Amazon has been focused on the bottom of the equation almost exclusively. Whereas like the one-click buy, making it effortless to buy and to get your product. So time delay goes to 1 day. And now in some places it's same day delivery. And the effort required is so stupid simple. It's just a couple of clicks and you have your thing in that same day. So think about that offer compared to other traditional mom and pop, let's say bookstores was what their initial competitor was, bookstores, where you have to go to the store, take a couple of hours to go to the store. It's a whole process, an event, and you can buy your book there. Think about the bottom of the equation there. The time delay sucks, and the effort is a lot higher than what Amazon has created. And that's exactly why Amazon is Amazon, and booksellers are going out of business. Just another example of what it can do for anyone to focus on the offer just a little bit. Step 2, medical appointment advocacy program. Recommendation: medical advocates attend appointments, take notes, ask follow-up questions, ensure proper documentary for the case. So this might be not possible. It might be if you can pull it off. That would make the effort go from 8 to 4 and increase perceived likelihood to 8, because you have someone on your side the entire time, not just when they call you or not just when the insurance company gives a letter or an offer and then you jump to action. The challenge of this one, and we'll go through this a little quicker so we can end this at a reasonable time here, but training qualified medical advocates, creative twist, your medical voice, professional advocates who speak medical and legal language. Step 3, employer relations specialist, dedicated team member to communicate with employers about accommodations, FMLA or family leave, return to work planning. So this is, most attorneys will say, well, this is outside of what we normally do. Yeah, no shit. Because if you want to just keep doing what you're doing, then that's cool. But you're going to be like everyone else, and your costs are going to continue to rise, and it's going to continue to get harder and harder to do business. Competition is the number one threat in personal injury, and you're going to have to think outside of the box a little bit if you want to differentiate yourself and be different from the rest and be the obvious choice for people. 24/7 crisis support hotline. Always available support for medical emergencies, insurance denials, employer conflicts, or emotional crisis. Imagine that. Imagine somebody could just like text an attorney at any time, maybe 3 a.m. I'm not saying, again, this might not be possible for you, or you might have a blocker to doing some of these things. Oh, but this takes this or this takes that. It takes money. It takes training staff. Yeah. But imagine somebody could at 2, 3 a.m., they get up in the middle of the night. They're in pain. They don't know what to do. And they could ask somebody what to do or how to get through that difficult challenge. Creative twist, your recovery lifeline. Never feel alone in your darkest moments. Step 5, medical bill warrior service. Recommendation, complete medical billing management. Negotiate with providers, fight insurance denials, set up payment plans, prevent collections. My God, I mean, just looking at this, even adding any of these would make the offer more irresistible and more attractive. Bill Battle Brigade, we fight every unfair charge. Family support system, recommendation, counseling for spouse and children, household help coordination, child care assistance, referrals, family communication coaching. Creative twist, healing the whole family, comprehensive support network. And this, by the way, I used to think that everything in my business that I needed to improve had to be either me doing it or the staff doing it or hiring new staff to get those capabilities. But some of these things could be done with a creative collaboration. And collaboration is the fastest way to grow. And some of these things, if they're outside of your capability, and collaborations are all about capabilities and reach. And if somebody already has the capability, already has the reach, and you could just simply create a creative collaboration with these companies, you could much more quickly put together an irresistible and complete offer. Transportation and mobility solutions, recommendation, medical transportation vehicle, modifications, mobility equipment, ride coordination for family needs. Man, just thinking about some people that are like really catastrophically injured, they've had life-changing injuries, and they need a lot of this stuff. And all we're doing is saying, we're going to help you get the most money in the end after 2 years. Step 8, recovery timeline dashboard, recommendation, visual progress tracking showing medical milestones, legal process, financial recovery, family stability metrics. With AI, you can have this stuff built pretty damn quickly where each person has access to a dashboard to see what's going on every step of the way. I'm thinking of something like a trademark engine, which I've used in the past, which shows you every step of the process of getting a trademark, and it shows you where you are, every step of the way. Step 9, immediate needs emergency fund, instant access to funds for rent, utilities, groceries, prescriptions while case is pending. Crisis to cash bridge, survival shouldn't wait for settlements. Medical care optimization network, partnerships with top specialists to treat immediately without upfront payment, expedited appointments, coordinated care plans. It would reduce the time delay, the challenges, provider recruitment and management. Again, a collaboration here might do wonders. Creative twist, healing fast track, VIP medical care for injury victims. Step 11, insurance battle automation. Recommendation, AI-powered system to handle routine insurance communications automatically, appeal denials, track all interactions. These things are becoming more and more available. I don't know if software like Supio handle stuff like this, but AI softwares in the future are going to help us implement these more irresistible offers. Step 12, daily life reconstruction service, home modifications, adaptive equipment, lifestyle coaching, hobby activity adaptation, social reintegration support. Increased promise size for 7 to 10. Life 2.0 design, building a better life than before the accident. Step 13, settlement maximization guarantee. Guarantee to beat any written settlement offer from another qualified attorney by 25% or pay the difference. I don't know if that's feasible. I don't know if they're going to be getting other offers from other attorneys. I'm not sure about that one. Step 14, post-settlement and life security planning. Financial planning. Asset. So one of my good friends, he's an attorney that helps with a big case, multiple victims, mass tort against an organization. And what he was telling me was shocking. He told me that most of these people don't even have bank accounts. So they had a recovery of 7 figures each, and most of them don't even have a bank account. So what good is the settlement? What good is the money if they don't even have a place to put it? I don't know how they're going to, if they don't have a bank account, I don't even know if somebody will cash it for them and turn it into cash at that level. And if they, obviously that's not a solution. So something like this, post-settlement life security planning, I think is such an easy collaboration to be made. I like this one a lot. And I like this one because it thinks about what the ICP is actually going through. Step 15, client alumni success network. Connect recovered clients for mentorship, support, referral, rewards, annual celebration events, ongoing relationships. This one, recovery champion circle, once family, always family. I love this one because instead of just giving them a check, saying goodbye, asking for testimonial, giving them something like an online community, which is super easy to set up using something like School, SKOOL, another Alex Hormozy reference and product. You can set this up pretty easily where they have community built in after they receive their settlement. Awesome. So I like a lot of these. I don't know, you tell me, are these really hard to implement? What do you think would be on a scale of effort and impact? Like sometimes I put it on a map, a cross section, effort and impact, and we go after the one that's the lowest effort or cost, highest impact, and we rate them or we sort them in that order. Which do you think is going to have the highest impact at the lowest cost or effort? Certainly a lot of good stuff came from this bot. I love this bot. I use it often to improve our offers. Okay, so it says here prioritization and implementation roadmap, a little bit of what we just discussed. 24/7 crisis support hotline. These are immediate. These are things that we can set up immediately. Short-term action, 1 to 4 months. Long-term action, advanced initiatives. Competitive edge analysis. Okay, this is pretty cool. Competitive edge. Like, how are we going to differentiate ourselves from the competition, making the competition completely irrelevant? Most personal injury firms only handle the legal aspects. None offer comprehensive life management during recovery. What an opportunity. Your firm could become the only total life recovery law firm. So if you've heard me talk about it in the past, we created and designed a category called total recovery law. And I don't know where we're going to go with it exactly. We were thinking like a certification, but having a really high standard and setting yourself up as something different than a personal injury firm. If you have all these parts to your offer, you can do that, where you can say, hey, we're not like every other personal injury firm. even now, I would say you don't want people categorizing you as a personal injury firm, because then they just put you in a category. They say, oh yeah, you're a personal injury firm. Your offer is a contingency fee offer. At the very least, I would say we're a trial attorney, which is different than your average personal injury firm. And here's why. So we're in a different category than personal injury. This is why you want this category versus this category. And I think that would be a great start before even doing any of this in differentiating your law firm. Remaining gaps after implementation, essentially none. You'd be providing unprecedented comprehensive support. I mean, just for me to think about focusing on the offer versus focusing on traffic, this is so much more attractive to me. So much better use of our time and resources is to get the offer right. Like Dan Kennedy said, it's the offer, stupid. Like most people are looking for more traffic, more eyeballs, more attention when the offer sucks. The offer is completely broken. It's in crisis mode, yet we're trying to drive more eyeballs to it. And I've done it. I've worked with personal injury firms for the last 12 years. So we are certainly guilty of that. And at one point it worked, but now where personal injury is now, we got to stop focusing on only traffic. It's a tragedy. Unique selling proposition: the only law firm that doesn't just fight for your settlement. We manage your entire life while you heal, guarantee maximum compensation, and ensure your victory lasts forever. Comprehensive summary: before and after ratings. Promise size. I mean, this brings it to 100. Promise size goes to 10. Perceived likelihood goes to 10. Time delay goes to a 1. Effort required goes to a 1. Those are maxed out. And the improved equation score gets 100, a 100-point score, which I've seen this thing tell me this in the past. Anything over 15 creates a buying frenzy. Anything over 15 creates a buying frenzy. So these are the projected results after the total investment required to implement every single one of these. Estimated conversion rate increase, 500 to 1,000% better. Average case value increase, 50 to 100% due to better medical documentation and care. Client satisfaction improvement, 1,000% better. Referral rate increase, 2,000% better. Premium pricing potential, 40 to 60% higher, contingency fee justified. Vision of optimized offer. You become the only law firm in South Carolina South Carolina was the ICP was in South Carolina, that truly handles everything, not just the legal case, but the client's entire life during recovery. Clients experience zero effort on their part while receiving maximum compensation, comprehensive life support, and long-term security planning. Future-proofing strategies, monthly client effort level surveys. Let's just keep going through this. We'll finish it up. Market trends consideration, increasing demand for comprehensive service packages. You're going to see that this is doing well. There's no shortage of money in personal injury, so people are going to start to do their own irresistible offer like this. Rising expectations for immediate problem solving, growing awareness of trauma's total life impact, technology integration for seamless support, staying ahead strategies, develop proprietary life impact assessment tools. This is where you can start to name your stuff so that you're known for these methods and nobody could copy them and you look like the first person to do it. And people start asking for the offer by name. Build exclusive comprehensive care networks, create industry first total life recovery standards, and patent unique support methodologies. All right, I think we'll stop it there. That was awesome. Let me stop the stream. All right, so my goal with this was to get you as a personal injury attorney or CMO for a personal injury law firm to start thinking about your offer more or at all, and not just thinking about traffic all the time and getting more eyeballs, because getting more eyeballs to what? If you're getting more eyeballs to a broken offer or an offer that doesn't convert well, then you are just spending money that you shouldn't be spending, and you're causing frustration for yourself that could be alleviated. Once again, to close it out, just remember, like and subscribe, all that good stuff for the algorithm. But remember, marketing and advertising is the tax you pay for having an unremarkable offer. All right, guys. Thanks. Talk to you soon.